Coronation Street star Faye Brooks has teased a return for her character Kate Connor after 7 years away from the cobbles. The actor left the soap back in 2019 in order to explore new opportunities. Kate's exit came after several personal disasters on the street, including the devastating loss of her brother Aidan Connor, who died by suicide in 2018. A year later, Kate's wedding day was completely destroyed when the Underworld factory roof collapsed, killing her fiancé Rana Habib, who was trapped under the rubble. Unable to process her grief, Kate soon packed her bags to go traveling in the Far East, and while she is mentioned from time to time, she hasn't been seen on screen since her exit. However, in an interview with The Mirror, Brooks shared that she would love to return to the soap, on one condition. "It's got to be worth it, because I've had so much joy playing other characters on stage that have really taught me something," she explained. Speaking about her time on Corrie, Brooks recalled how she suddenly became a household name and was frequently recognized by members of the public. "I wasn't Faye anymore, I was being called Kate. And I relished it. I loved every second of my time there," she said. "It was like a whirlwind. I think I took it in my stride, but that's down to my family as well, being so normal and calling me out if I was ever a diva." She continued, "I needed that, so I didn't ever lose sight of who I was. And then I was representing a character that people were looking up to. I had a responsibility." Coronation Street fans have never been short of questions about former favorites, and Kate Connor remains one of the names that continues to spark plenty of curiosity. Even after leaving Weatherfield, Kate's story has stayed memorable for viewers who watched her navigate heartbreak, family drama, and some of the soap's most emotional storylines. Now, speculation about a possible return has been reignited after a Coronation Street star addressed the possibility of seeing Kate back on the cobbles. Kate, played by Faye Brooks, was at the center of several major plots during her time on the ITV soap. Her relationship with Rana Habib became one of the show's most talked about romances, while her complicated family life ensured that Kate was rarely far away from the drama. Her departure left many viewers wondering whether the character might eventually make her way back to Weatherfield. For soap fans, returns are nothing unusual. Coronation Street has a long history of bringing familiar faces back when the right storyline comes along. Characters can disappear for years before suddenly walking through the Rover's doors again, often bringing a huge secret or fresh conflict with them. That has naturally led to questions about Kate. Could she return? According to the latest comments from the show's cast, the door may not necessarily be closed. The possibility of Kate returning is particularly interesting because so much has changed since she left. Weatherfield has moved on, relationships have changed, and several characters who once knew Kate well are now dealing with completely different circumstances. A return would therefore give the soap an opportunity to explore a new chapter for her rather than simply repeating old storylines. Kate could arrive back on the street as a very different person. Time away could have changed her priorities, relationships, and outlook on life. She might return with a new career, a new partner, or even a major secret that immediately throws her into the middle of Weatherfield chaos. And, of course, Coronation Street would have plenty of ways to reconnect her with established characters. One of the biggest attractions of a comeback would be seeing how Kate reacts to the Weatherfield she left behind. The people she once trusted may no longer be the same, while those she considered enemies could unexpectedly become allies. That kind of emotional tension is exactly what makes soap returns so effective. However, fans should not necessarily expect Kate to stroll back into the Rovers tomorrow. The latest discussion appears to leave room for the possibility rather than confirming an imminent comeback. In other words, there is a difference between the character being welcomed back in theory and an official announcement that Faye Brooks is returning to the cast. For now, that distinction is important. Still, the fact that the question is being discussed will undoubtedly excite long-term viewers. Kate's exit was an emotional moment, and her history means that there is plenty of unfinished potential for the character. Soap storylines are constantly evolving, and a return can sometimes happen when audiences least expect it. There is also the question of whether Faye Brooks herself would be interested in revisiting the role. Actors often move on to theater, television and other projects after leaving a long-running soap, but that does not always mean they have permanently closed the door on their former characters. A short guest appearance, anniversary storyline or special event could potentially provide an opportunity for Kate to return without requiring a permanent commitment. For Coronation Street, bringing Kate back could also create a major nostalgia moment. Imagine the reaction if Kate suddenly appeared in Weatherfield again. The news would instantly spread among the residents, while fans would be eager to discover why she had returned. Was she back for family? Was she seeking a fresh start? Had something gone wrong away from Weatherfield? Or could she have returned because someone from her past needed her? Those questions alone could form the basis of a major storyline. And because Kate has already experienced some of the street's most dramatic moments, writers would have plenty of material to work with. A comeback could also allow the soap to revisit Kate's past while introducing her to a completely new generation of characters. That balance between nostalgia and fresh drama is often what makes a returning character feel worthwhile. For now, though, viewers will have to wait for something more concrete. The latest comments may have reopened the conversation about Kate Connor, but they should not be treated as an official confirmation that she is returning to Coronation Street. What they do show is that Kate remains a character capable of generating interest years after her departure. And that is perhaps the biggest sign that a comeback could work. Weatherfield is a place where people leave, change and sometimes come home. Kate Connor has already made her mark on the cobbles, and if the right story ever comes along, there is certainly no shortage of possibilities. So, could Kate Connor return? The answer for now appears to be the door is not completely closed, but fans shouldn't expect an immediate comeback confirmation. Until an official announcement arrives, Kate's future remains a tantalizing question. But in Coronation Street, never say never. Coronation Street airs on weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and streams on ITVX. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.